Aquarius. It's your girl Jay, the High Priestess. I have sat down and don't have my tarot deck. Ooh-wee.
Okay.
Ooh-wee, Aquarius. All right. There's that. There's this interesting like polarity, dichotomy I think you guys have access to. It's like the pendulum is swinging for you guys between like conservative, liberal, having your shit together versus being a mess, being all over the place, being very together. There's structured and present being versus being very aloof and detached. There is some shifts going on with your ruling planets, and they'll be felt. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising. Patreon gets everything first. Definitely check out those Libra season videos. They hit different at the end of the season. They hit different at the beginning of a new season. So check it out. Patreon gets everything first. Patreon.com/justjeverything. For free content, check out my Instasham at justj_everything, TikTok at justjeverything, and for other dope shit that I do, my website, justjeverything.com. So, the same day, October 23rd is a heavy-hitting day. One of your ruling planets, Saturn, goes direct in Aquarius, in your sign. Saturn, trials and tribulation. And then you've got Uranus, progress and forward motion. That's retrograde in Taurus. And so there's some sort of like gaining a new progress, gaining a new perspective, gaining new avenues of money. Some of you may think that you're going backwards only to be actually like you're being, it's like very kind of like slingshot energy. You're being pulled back to reevaluate, to look at stuff with your purpose, with money, with possessions, how you run your business, how you tie your purpose and your prosperity. There are shifts coming in there. And there's always shifts happening, but trust and believe that these shifts are going to be felt. I want to find another word for shift. I feel like I'm saying the word shift so much because I'm thinking about not saying the word shift, and so I keep saying it. This is an intense season, and the sooner that you can grasp the contrast between your two ruling planets, it'll like make your life easier, so you're not judging yourself for the pendulum swing. Saturn, like I said, time, karma, and then there's Uranus, which is like eternity. And so there is that polarity, and you finding the fulcrum point, you finding like that perfect in between, and fighting to live there, striving until it becomes easy for you to live in between these two polar opposites. Life will get a lot easier when you get comfortable living in the in-between, when you get comfortable living in the tension and facing the tension, facing the challenge. Because with Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, Saturn going direct in your sign is karma's going back to its normal flow. There's new karma, new rewards, new also punishment and delays being doled out. But I feel like for you, those of you watching, the Aquarians watching, there's definitely some sort of like leveling up. And I'm excited about that for you. And I feel like it's still important to make sure like going forward, you're prioritizing doing the right thing. We're in eclipse season, and this shit is going to hit different because there's a partial solar eclipse, which is going to change our trajectory, and then a total lunar eclipse, which is going to change our emotions and our relationship to our emotions. So for all the astrological dates, go check out the Scorpio season astrology video. But let's get into it. Light it if you got it. Hydrate. As we create sacred space for our benevolent ancestors, Mother God, Father God, Mother Earth, thanking you for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Scorpio season 2022. Aquarius, empty your lungs. And then take a deep breath whenever you're ready. Hold that at the top and then exhale out of your mouth. I didn't necessarily ask for all these, but they came out. All right, first card out, Queen of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, Queen of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. Jupiter is going back into, or Jupiter's retrograding back into Pisces, and all of our relationship to luck is going to be changing. Bottom of the deck is the the Page of Cups. So this season is definitely about you formulating a new relationship with yourself, your personal power, your motivation, your drive, your ambition. All of that stuff is ramping up, and it feels like your money is going to be impacted, positively impacted. There is some sort of leveling up, some nurturing. But so there may, so first thing really to be clarified is your relationship to your self-care routine, your diet, your relationship to exercise, your relationship to your hygiene, your relationship to the tidiness and cleanliness of your house, of your car, of your office, of, your environment. There's something also about what's going on with, your resourcefulness, your, who depends on you, who you're depending on. There could be a very nurturing figure around that you're unsure of. There may be somebody with Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn placements around that you may not be sure of. I feel like they are in a place where if there is a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn around, they are in a place that they're very much so focused on their life, focused on, and it doesn't have to be specific to that sign. It may be somebody that's done very well for themselves, or someone that's financially comfortable or financially stable, or someone that's generous. There also could be a need to be generous. Some of you are in your head about being generous to people. If internally it feels like a no, then let it be a no. And if you end up having regrets about what you shoulda, coulda, woulda gave, then you got to live with that impression that you left. But there is something about being in your head about your worthiness, being in your head about your relationship to maybe another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or you yourself. I feel like you're showing up really strong here. This is Sun in Aquarius, according to how I learned. There are other people who would say, no, that's not, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I feel like center of the reading being the Queen of Swords, this is you. You need to be the center of your world this season, and that may be really hard for you because you may be looping in your head or trying to run from some sort of pain that needs to be transmuted into power already. The Eight of Swords plus the Queen of Swords, that's 9 swords. So there could be some sort of dark night of the soul that you're trying to bob and weave, that you're trying to run away from. There could be some sort of knowing. There also may be someone around you that's just very much so stuck in their head, someone that maybe you're having arguments with. You may possibly be almost kind of like haunted by something, or really not haunted literally, but it's like plagued in the mind with something that you're looping on. What are you going round and round in your mind about? And trust and believe that this has a lot to do with perspective. None of these swords are impaling you. And with very minimal effort, you could break out of these binds, take the blindfold off, and you would see that you have somewhere bigger to go. And so this is a mismanagement of your mental energy to be sitting around looping on stuff. I feel like in a Scorpio season, it'd be great for you to get a hold of or a firm understanding of what is within your jurisdiction and what is outside of your jurisdiction. What is in the hands of the divine versus what is within your control. And what is within your control is what you voluntarily put into your body, whether you react or respond, and what you do about your intentions. Do you intend to stay like this? Are you enjoying this energy, just looping and going around, or having the same conversation, or having the same conversation with yourself even? It's time to really address the elephant in the room. It's time to address whatever is uncomfortable. There may be somebody with Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn placements around you that's really like la 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 la, or ignoring you, or ignoring the elephant in the room, or there could just be some issue with communication. You may be feeling mentally blocked. You may be feeling really anxious or depressed or sad or having trouble sleeping. And it's because there are things to say. I almost ate a cough drop before I came in here. And it's funny because I just was thinking that I don't like the way I look when I suck on cough drops while I'm reading. So I didn't do it. So the vanity of it all. But there is something about the throat that I feel like when I leaned into y'all's energy, it was very tight. And so some of you may have a hard time speaking the truth, but I do feel like there are people that do come in that you're like, wow, this is really easy. Wow, I can communicate to myself. Wow, this person believes in what I believe in, so I don't feel crazy when I tell them my ideas, or I don't feel crazy when, I talk to them about this woo-woo shit, or this, conspiracy shit, or whatever it is. I feel like there's something or someone, they may have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or Pisces, or Sagittarius placements, that's really going to be coming in and changing stuff. The Wheel of Fortune being the only major arcana out, this is saying closer to Sagittarius season, there is a turning point that comes in. And things may be feeling shaky. They should be feeling shaky because they're about to change. And so this wheel, it is constantly in motion. And so if you're trying to find your balance and find your footing, you best not be in this position, blindfolded and bound unnecessarily, trying to find your footing. You know what I mean? Let's not. And so the way to avoid that kind of two-step, whatever, is like, talk about it. We've got to talk about this. We've got to write it out. We've got to, make art of it. You've got to have these conversations, even if you're initiate having the conversation with yourself before you have the conversation with this other person, because your words are going to change your life this season. And I hope that sounds as dramatic as I mean it to. Your ability to communicate, your ability to express yourself, your ability to clear through the cloudiness, to your ability to create clarity for yourself and for other people around you, especially because that's the thing, Aquarius. If there's a bunch of people that you have like waiting in the wings, or people that you have wondering about what they mean to you, you could be really raking up some like unnecessarily negative consequences to that. There's something about providing clarity for people and not keeping yourself or other people in the dark or waiting in the wings or something of that nature. So there could be just some need for you to like put your big person britches on and really figure out how to generate liberation for yourself. Saturn versus Uranus is how this feels. Saturn, restriction, trials, tribulation. Uranus, progress, freedom, liberation. On the other side of using that mechanism that creates vibration, which will eventually condense into matter. Use your words, Aquarius. It will change your life. It will change your season. It will change the way that the divine reacts to you. I also feel like some of y'all are in places where y'all been lying, or you haven't been telling the whole truth. This isn't everybody, but some of y'all been lying and you haven't been telling the whole truth. You've been omitting shit. There's half truths, half lies, whatever it is. And once you clear up that karma, which hopefully you did it while Saturn was retrograde and you're not looping around, 7 years ago, again, there is something about you atoning for that, or you being really impeccable with your word, from now on is going to really change and impact how the divine responds to you. Because I'm telling you what, people who tell a bunch of lies and, you know, who are living very inauthentically do not manifest at the same rate, nor do they receive blessings at the same rate as people who are fucking impeccable with their word. A lot of people don't like hearing it, but I am living fucking proof of that. And so I can go ahead and like confirm that for you. Final card, final message for Aquarius. Sun, moon, and rising for Scorpio season 2022. Final card, final message, please. Final card, final message, please. Let's just get them all out. Scorpio showing up horde. Final card being death. There is going to be a huge change of events. Things are going to start feeling in sync. You're going to start experiencing a whole bunch of signs and wonders and transformation. And the beginning of your Scorpio season may be very scorpionic and may be very like, what's that line the whole line for Scorpio season that I've been getting is, go girl, seek happy nights to happy days. That's how it feels, where it's just like, it's a line from Shakespeare, from Romeo and Juliet. And so there is this evolution, this ending. This is going to be a juicy plunge. It's juicy because with the Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck, another card with a blindfold. What are you so afraid to see, babe? Because the 8, 9, 10, 10 of Swords. We already had the 9. Now the 10 is showing up to be represented. But the 10 with the Queen of Swords, that gets us to the Ace of Swords. And that's the progress, the Uranus progress forward. You're being asked to look at it. Will you just look at it? Whatever it is, however much it hurts, however much you've been like repressing it or holding stuff back, or however afraid you are to talk about it or to rock the boat. The boat's built to be fucking rocked, and the boat's about to get rocked for your ass if you don't really start moving and initiating your own forward progress. You have the ability, every ability and capability to generate it for yourself. So whatever it is that you're afraid of looking at, especially up here in your emotional basement, in your emotional attic, or spiritual attic even, whatever hurts too much to talk about, or like you put that shit in a box and you don't want to deal with it. The box has fallen in from the attic, and now all the shit is spewed out, and you got to look at it. And you got to talk about it. You got to write about it. You've got to experience closure. You've got to experience, and you can generate that for yourself. You've got to find new responses. You've got to look at these old patterns and who your relationship to grief, your relationship to struggle, your relationship to pain, your relationship to picking yourself back up. Saturn is going to ensure that you are a particularly tough brand of bitch or person. I only call you bitch because I don't know your names individually. There is just something here about, if the divine is putting you in a position where you need to be able to look the forces of the divine in the face. You need to be able to be, a guiding light for people dealing with grief, or people dealing with loss, or people dealing with profound transformations or change. If you haven't faced your own shit, how are you going to be of service to help other people walk through their journey? Because as an Aquarian, you want to help. You naturally are, thinking of the many versus the few. Naturally, a high vibrational, naturally you are. But how are you able to do that if you're not going to be willing to look at your own pain? And I feel like there are a lot of you who are looking at your own pain, and you are in a place of transmuting it, and you're coming into power, and all these words are you know, flying out of you, this art, these language, this new, it's just like, some of you I feel like are gaining hindsight for previous pain. I also feel like some of you are like seeing your own progress for how you, like, it doesn't hurt anymore, it doesn't sting anymore, or I don't let myself stay stagnant like this anymore. The divine's like bringing through like these tests where it's just like, are you going to keep doing what you've always been doing? Are you always going to choose to be defensive? Are you always going to, you know, are you going to keep putting your spirituality or your emotions on the back burner? Are you going to allow yourself to feel it all so that you can actually heal whatever this shit is? I'm ready to dive into this. Let's get into it. I love you. I hope I see you over on Patreon. The Plunge, patreon.com/justjeverything. See ya. For the full version of the video, go to Patreon.